Once upon a time, in a small forgotten town, there stood an old creepy house. It was known as the haunted house because no one ever dared to go near it. The house had creaky wooden floors, dusty windows that barely let light in, cobwebs hanging from the ceiling, and flickering lights that never stayed bright. Stories said the house was filled with ghosts and spooky shadows that moved on their own. But one little black cat named Whiskers was more curious than scared. Whiskers had sleek, shiny fur and glowing green eyes that looked like tiny lanterns in the dark. One night, under the pale moonlight, Whiskers decided to explore the old haunted house. As he trotted up the worn-out steps, the wooden boards creaked and groaned. Whiskers stepped inside, his eyes wide and ears pricked up. The flickering lights cast long, ghostly shadows on the walls. Whiskers sniffed the air and twitched his whiskers. The house felt cold and damp, and every corner seemed to hide a secret. As he walked through the dusty hallways, he saw the cobwebs flutter gently, as if a ghostly breeze was passing through. Suddenly, Whiskers heard a soft whisper. His ears twitched and he turned to see an old rocking chair, gently rocking back and forth even though no one was there. His heart raced with excitement and a little bit of fear, but his curiosity pushed him forward. He tiptoed into a large room where an old chandelier hung from the ceiling, its lights flickering and casting eerie shadows on the walls. Just as Whiskers stepped under the chandelier, he saw it sway gently, as if some invisible force was pushing it. Whiskers let out a soft meow, half curious and half cautious. As he explored further, he noticed more strange things: a picture frame that tilted on its own, a candle that blew out without any wind, and shadows that danced to the rhythm of the flickering lights. In every room there seemed to be a mystery waiting for Whiskers. Finally, Whiskers reached a grand staircase that led to the upper floor. Gathering his courage, he climbed each step slowly, his glowing green eyes scanning for any movement. As he reached the top, his eyes caught sight of a shadow slipping into one of the rooms. With his heart pounding, Whiskers followed the shadow into a dusty old bedroom. There, on an antique dresser, sat a porcelain doll, its eyes looking right at Whiskers. For a moment, it seemed as though the doll blinked. But before Whiskers could investigate, a cold breeze swept through the room and the door slammed shut behind him. Startled, but not ready to give up, Whiskers pressed on. He knew he had to uncover the secrets of this haunted house. Whiskers' adventure in the haunted house was just beginning. Who knows what other spooky surprises were waiting for him? But one thing was certain: Whiskers was the bravest cat in the whole town, and his tales of the haunted house would be whispered about for years to come.